this this show hits on a lot of topics. The struggles of single motherhood, the struggles of you know women that's lost a black father in the house, and mental health and everything else. How how relatable is this show as an actress when you go amongst your peers? Do y'all talk about the themes of the shows that they see you play out as a character?
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation that I have had with my fellow castmates. And to be quite honest, I feel like anybody who reads this script can relate to something in it. I was just actually saying that, I'm a mother. And so as a mother, you know, let's say you didn't grow up in a project development. Let's say that's not your reality. Well, I don't care what your zip code is. I don't care what your income is. If you have a Black son, you think about how your child will be perceived by the world. You think about their safety as they navigate the world. So I think there's so many different things in this show that all of us can relate to.
I know that there's several films that's been filmed in the Miami area, but it's not usually the breeding ground for Hollywood actors, I would say. So, like, for you to grow up there, did you have to not lean on theater? I'm sure you enjoy doing theater, but is that like a great vehicle when you're not in New York City or LA already to get recognized and get the training that it takes to become and pull off the roles you've had on screen?
Well, very honestly, my career, my professional career began in Chicago. So I'm born and raised from Miami. I went to a performing arts school there called New World School of the Arts. And I will always sing their praises because that school really gave me a foundation for what it is to be a professional and take your craft very seriously. Because we were in high school, but 3 hours every day we worked on our craft. And I met so many other artists and came to understand that Miami has an abundance of talented artists, visual artists, dancers, musicians, seriously, an abundance. And I was in school with people who were working at a high level in their art discipline, even as young adults. However, what I started to see and feel is that a lot of these people would leave Miami because it didn't necessarily seem like the infrastructure was there for us to thrive in a professional career. So once I was done with high school, I went to college to study theater in Chicago. And that's where the bulk of my career has actually happened. I've done a lot of theater in Chicago, and I feel like the Chicago work ethic really has been my foundation for all of my work, honestly.
This show deals with a lot of topics, like I said, but one of them I see in all the characters is code switching, and it's something that I know, like in my circles, we talk about it a lot. Um, how how necessary is code switching, and do you look at it in a negative way, or you think that it's just a part of life being having to do it sometimes?
Well, very honestly, I feel like if you are an other in this country and your otherness is not necessarily welcome, for your own survival, you figure out how you can live in a peaceful way. So unfortunately, I think for a lot of people who have a culture that is not necessarily welcome or celebrated in the mainstream culture, you figure out a way to create peace for yourself. And unfortunately for Black people, that has been code switching, right? So I figure out how to come off in a way that is acceptable to you, that is not threatening to you. And unfortunately, in my own life, my own personal testimony is that I didn't necessarily, in a conscious way, realize I was doing that until I met somebody who was unapologetically Black. And that person for me was the creator of our show, Terrell Alvin McCraney. So Terrell and I we went to undergrad together, and we were the minority there. It was a white institution. Most of our professors and the other students were white, and I could feel myself trying to speak a certain way, and even feeling like my Blackness was actually it wasn't always welcome in my theater training program. But I saw Terrell, and then Terrell gave us the gift of his work. And it was the first time in my life where I realized that, oh, work for my community, work for my experience is just as valid and is worthy of being canonized as everything else that you teach me and that you tell me to respect and uphold as being a classic. And so once I had that awareness that this was something that I had silently agreed to, like I had silently agreed to assimilate for my own comfort and survival, once I had a conscious realization of that, I decided I was no longer going to participate in that, but I was going to challenge those systems and say, if you on one end say that you welcome diversity and you celebrate diversity, make room for diversity, and make sure that you treat it with the same reverence that you do what you have heretofore held as being, worth teaching, worth learning from, worth celebrating.
Right about you. I mean, she right to be.
I'm okay. I am. I'm okay. I would love for them to turn that AC up in here. I thought hospital's supposed to be cold.
This kind of stress, Ma, might not be good for you. I mean, chaos and boredom.
What?
I'm just saying, I just want to make sure you're good. I mean, this whole thing could be really triggering.
Go home, David.
Ma, wait.
Go home. You really bringing up me being an addict now? Right now? In case I forgot? I remember every day that I wasn't there for y'all. It's on my heart. It's on my hands, David. I am sorry for those times, but for the record, I have been clean 15 years. 1-5. But you wouldn't remember that because every time we celebrate something, you got work. Just go home, huh? David, we have all changed, baby. We have. Me, your brother. It's you that's the same. And I know that's scary. You had to do a lot of growing up quick. But you got a chance here to see that the world has changed before it's too... Go home. Go home, David. Go find you some calm.
And my last question is back to mental health. We see it occur in this film, whether it's as a result of PTSD and the trauma of losing important people to you, or from abuse in some other characters. Not as much as it from social media, but my question is, like, for this generation of kids, like, I feel like the Black community's always had, mental health issues that we've had to deal with, but like this generation seems like there's maybe a lot more mental health issues than before. At least that might be my assumption. Do you think that social media plays a large part in mental health? And yeah, just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I will say that obviously social media has, like anything in life, has benefits, and it also has drawbacks. And I know that I've heard people talk about some of the drawbacks being that it creates, comparing your life with somebody else's, and especially for young people, that can be particularly harmful when you buy into the idea of the illusion that somebody has this and you compare. So I myself, I'm not a big social media person. I just find it difficult to juggle that in my own life and the responsibilities that I have. So I can definitely see how it can be detrimental to people. Especially if you're a public figure and so many people have different opinions that you can see if you choose to read it. I can definitely see that. But to your larger question of mental health, I really think that what season 2 of David Makes Man is really wanting our community to sort of kind of embrace is the idea that mental health care can really be an asset and a solution for us. It is definitely something that you will see throughout season 2. And hopefully the invitation is for us to understand this as a viable option for wellness for our community.
Alana, thank you for your time, and can't wait to see more of season 2. I've had a couple episodes to watch, but not the full season, and can't wait to see how the story unfolds, and can't wait to see you on screen more. I'm impressed by your character and your performance, so I'm rooting to see you more often and more things. So thanks for your time.
Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Have a great day.